Kirk here with Attack Gaming. We're here with Steve and Jimmy. We are talking about H1Z1. We're at SOE Live 2014 in Las Vegas. I have an eclectic mix of questions. So we ready?
Sure, it's like lightning round. I feel like you're the...
I won't be that lightning. Yes, exactly. So, one question. Are there going to be different types of zombies in, like, some zombies? Obviously, you guys said we want zombies that like walk slower, ones that crawl, but mention different types, like ones that maybe have better vision, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, Steve was talking about that earlier. We want to have zombies that don't see at all but hear incredibly well, and they're like banshee wailing, and they attract other zombies, stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole key is that we're trying to provide an early vertical slice of the game, and the zombies are just one part of that slice. And as soon as we feel comfortable with all the content we're providing, we'll start growing that slice out, where that includes zombies, includes vehicles, weapons, all sorts of things like that.
Zombie clothing. Now this is kind of sounds weird, but let's say you go into like a chapel or something, you would expect maybe the zombie in there that's going to have like a white robe because he was a priest. Is that something we're thinking about?
Actually, so right now, was it Friday or Monday? No, it was Monday. We started getting our new wearable system online. So what people, I don't think we've talked about this publicly. We talk about so much, it's just crazy. We talk about so much stuff, we forget to like say things. So actually, a new zombie wearable system's coming online that isn't just the flat-looking texture swaps. So we will have zombie wearables in game. Absolutely, they're going to look different.
Police hat wearing zombie, maybe the nurse, all that stuff will come online over time.
Or you even, like, you died and you're a zombie, and that zombie has your stuff and looks like the old you. So like,
he's just wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You talked about the airdrops. I'm kind of curious, like, what kind of stuff is in them? And also, if people don't know about the airdrops, just a little quick reminder of what the airdrops are.
So airdrops are a mechanic in the game. C-130 flies over, drops something at a pretty slow rate. Different altitudes, actually. We have 2 different altitudes in speeds that they come in. And it's just a big, oh my god, it's time to go to war with a couple people moment, because people come from... we're a very open game. So someone could be at the top of a mountain, not even going for that. They're waiting for you to come down there to snipe you all down. And it creates a really urgent moment for people. And it'd be a lot of fun.
It's a nice way to start chaos in the world.
Yeah.
You drop one and you create a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Like the Hunger Games.
Yes,
very much so. Very much so.
Exactly.
So what kind of items would we find in an airdrop?
So we're still playing with that idea right now. As is, you're finding like a gun every time and ammo. So we'll see. I mean, we also have one that'll drop one of our off-roaders. Off-roader just comes straight down on a parachute. So we'll see where that ends up. I mean, we can really put whatever we want in there.
Sure. And there's also a lot of talk about making them like a mystery chest. So you can order this semi-valued mystery chest. You're not guaranteed to know what's in there, but you have a general idea of the sort of things that appear in that type of thing. And it'll drop, and maybe using it for chaos, or maybe using it for water supply or whatever. But, you know, it goes in the world, and you cause havoc, and you can loot it for the possibility of getting something cool.
Yeah, it's got a couple options for users. So, I mean, it's one of those things, we are hardcore survival. We've said it 100 times. We're fans of the genre. We don't want to mess with that because we're free to play and have microtransactions. So if you do go in and you buy an airdrop later on, it's something that's spawning in a radius around you. It's dropping, and everyone else can see that and then go get it.
Do you think people that have spent money on that, I mean, obviously that's part of it, and they don't end up getting anything from an airdrop, like, is that, you've thought about that, I'm sure.
Sure, absolutely. They better get really good at
getting before they order an airdrop.
Right.
Keep in mind also, there's also going to be the regular station store. So if you're the type of person that likes to just, I'm buying something, this is mine, yeah, go right to the station store. But if you want to cause some chaos, buy an airdrop and have fun with it.
Yeah, and it's going to come with more tangible in-game items than you would find in the cash shop. Like, for example, you're not going to go to the cash shop and go buy an M16, but that could drop in the crate. So, yeah.
Are there any going to be like PvP or PvE, kind of like not so much quest or anything, but kind of like if people know there is a cave and that's filled with zombies, there could be something at end. I need to go work with people, like a PvE environment where you need to group up to go for an objective.
Accidentally, yes. So actually, we have some hand-play spawners in the world, but they're very rare for zombies. They're dynamically spawned in the world and constantly refreshing when players aren't around and outside of player radiuses. So what's cool is we can put variables in that cause more zombies or less zombies to spawn. And one of those is items and like what we consider the weight and value of an item. The rarer the items are and the more there are, the more zombies. So really, it's a pretty good indication. You're running downtown, you're like, holy crap, you're just running from a horde. Someone sees that horde chasing you, they're like, oh, well, there's something over there.
Yeah, you go to the opposite. Right. And keep something in mind. We kind of monitor a dynamic heat map of the world. And our system is designed to be where if there's a lot of activity in one zone, it'll generate heat in that zone, and that heat attracts zombies. And when I say heat, I mean audio-visual cues that would typically bring in a zombie. So it'll heat up in the town temporarily, and that town will be overrun by zombies. And then maybe later on in the day, it kind of lightens up and it goes back to normal.
What about stuff like a hidden stash? Like, say you want to hide something for a friend, not just in like a house, but would there ever be something like where you can dig underground and hide something even more hidden?
Right, like a lockbox. Yes, remember we have a lockbox right now. I don't know if we've actually laid out the code for locking it permanently, but the whole goal is you can put a box in a world somewhere, and if you know where to go, you can get to it and open it back up.
Yeah, and I remember Clegg was talking about this, and everyone's like, well, you can dig in the ground. I'm like, no, hold on, no. It may be something where you can just barely spot the top of something, and you interact with that and get it. But no, that's absolutely possible.
What about, like, a lot of people, when they first get into a game like a DayZ or something, you're going around with your friends, you play for a couple hours, you collect a lot of stuff, and then you die. Some people maybe not go back. Like, that was frustrating. Like, I just spent all this time playing, and now I have really nothing to show for it. Like, I know it's part of the genre, but are you going to do anything to kind of entice players to, keep playing again, or is there anything like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, initially, a lot of the things that let's get a few things straight. First, all the items that you've learned to craft on your character stay with you. So if I've learned to craft 50 different recipes, I don't need to go back and learn all that. That's just part of my character profile, So very important. What else is there?
Outside of that, it's recipes are the biggest thing in the game. Like, items are big. You want a gun and you want all these things, but really you want shelter and you want the ability to survive longer. So you're not going to have to spend the umpteenth hours to figure out how to make that thing again.
And I guess the other thing is
shelters stay there.
Sure.
Yeah, and station cash items also. So if you buy something from the store, you're never going to really lose it. You'll lose it off your character when you die, but when you respawn, you'll be able to pick what sort of items you want to bring back on you. And if you purchased an item like a certain type of hat or clothing, you can always have that item.
You do want people to form groups and kind of play together. Will there be any sort of indication that, we do have a friendship, and I want to know that, is there anything that's going to visually cue that you are friendly?
Yes. I'm going to wear a red hat. You're going to wear a red hat. Okay. You're my buddy. That's it.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
we're going to keep it open.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do as we move forward. We're once again leveraging PlanetSide 2, so we have our squad systems and alpha systems and all that stuff, and we may not ever do that, but we want to get to early access, like he's saying. We're gonna leave that open, let people figure that out on their own, and then can we do a squad? Let's try this on a server. Yeah. No, okay, let's take that back out.
And the same holds for trades. Keep that in mind. If you want to trade with me, what do? You throw the item on the ground and we trade, and if something goes wrong, if guns come flying. Well,
I'm already having like memories of old Diablo. Sorry, losing everything.
SOJs. So you do want the, like, hey, I'm your friend. I'm wearing a red hat, and you're like, well, I see a guy with a red hat. Like, do a jump or something until I know it's you. Like, if you're avoiding.
Put your hands up, or yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Now you're gonna have different server rule sets. Is there anything you're gonna have kind of like a karma system, or one that's a rule set where maybe it's not always PvE and there's not damage against other players. You'd only be against zombies.
I think that becomes very challenging with the type of game we're making, where you can't kill other players, mostly because, unless it was an incredibly small population count, because people are going to put things in the world, and if they can't destroy each other and things, then it just eventually gets filled up.
The thing is, we have a robust system that lets us do almost anything we want like that. So it's literally a big switchboard. We can turn on and off items at will. So if we want to say, hey, you can't PvP, we can.
Yeah, we're willing to see what happens with that.
So experimenting with that is the first step, right? Seeing where it goes.
And you could, yeah, I mean, you guys said in the keynote you'll have a bunch of different rule sets that different servers can have, so sure. It might be an option.
Very true.
Yeah, we just want to experiment with it first.
Okay. So a big topic, obviously, is early access. People want to play it. What is kind of preventing early access from happening, like, right now? Like, you guys are waiting for what?
Here's the deal. We are Sony, right? And we want to put out a certain quality level for our product. So we're basically holding just because of that. We've got a list of tasks we need to complete that we feel once we've hit that list, that we'll be confident in ourselves releasing this product out to you. We want to make sure all the basic things work. You build a house in the world, we flip our servers at some point, your house is still in the world. Persistence, things like that. So it's all about us being Sony and wanting to provide a certain level of quality. And I know it's EA, it's early access, but in the end, we are Sony, and we like to provide a certain level.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, it's actually a question that you brought up. It's like, yeah, this gets asked a lot, and on Reddit, we say things like that, and a lot of times we get the response of, well, it looks playable. I'm watching the streams. Yeah, I will buy that game. It's like, yeah, not everything that we work on is always pretty. I mean, sometimes it is just simply server stability. Sure. It's a new feature that we put in that brought down the server, and it used to be moving targets of like 100 meters apart, because like we would add something and something break. It's slowly narrowing, which means we're getting closer and closer to having a very stable, good experience for EA.
Exactly.
And you want it to make it worth it for people when they purchase for EA, like. You don't want them to go in with glitches everywhere, kind of like a lot of games do that.
Yeah, we get one chance to early access. I mean, we're a AAA studio. We want to make sure we go in there. We're serious about this, and that we treat this just like we do our other games for the long haul.
Yeah, and that's why it's being limited to a vertical slice. We're not putting tons of content in. We're trying to give you a nice slice of the game to make sure all that stuff works first. Then once we're happy with that during EA, then we'll move forward. We'll build a complete cake for you. How's that?
And will people get any sort of special item if they do purchase early access?
We haven't really talked about that much. I mean, really, our goal with early access is the $20 is a good way for people to say, I am interested and will give you feedback, and I am hardcore enough to be involved in this process. So we're not sure yet.
So even just like a hat or something people can wear in game that says, hey, I was in early access.
Well, right for this weekend, we're actually giving away a hat. Did you know this? We're giving out the beanies you're seeing people wear around. Oh, okay. We're actually giving that in game, so you can have that for your character for SOE Live. And we're also giving out something we refer to as Morning Wood. MOURNING wood. Okay, it's a bat with nails in it.
Yeah, which is, by the way, once again, Reddit. It's the same bat as the normal bat. Doesn't do anyone damage. It's a bat.
Which, by the way, every time our marketing group wants to mention it, they call it the bat with nails because they're afraid to say morning wood.
Yeah, yes.
I can see why.
There's PR. The PR standing all around. They're like, what are you doing?
All right, so thank you guys so much. That is H1Z1 here at SOE Live 2014.